Today I'll be drawing a pattern known as Who. A strange name for a Zentangle pattern to be sure, but it wouldn't be the first tangle with an interesting name. I'm not sure what the origin or development of that name is or was, but nevertheless, that's what we're going to draw. It's a shape that uses a really useful technique that's used in a lot of other Zentangle tiles that creates a radiating wheel or spoked wheel, and then we can form flowers or other sort of spiral designs with it quite easily. And then from there, we're going to spin a line right out toward the corners, toward all four corners. And then we'll also spin a line from this central orb in the center or between each of the lines we've already drawn. And we'll go up a ways with that as well. Same thing in all four areas. And so we've got this spoked wheel sort of thing going on here. But now, in this version, we're going to draw some little orbs in between these lines. So I would put them roughly at the height, if you can imagine a line that follows around, roughly at the height of those lines that we drew. Don't worry about super precision here. And now we're going to draw some lines that connect our orbs to these other lines. So the first one we'll start on the left of one of the shorter lines. We're just going to curve up and connect. And we'll do the opposite or the mirrored version of that from the other side. And if it's easier, let's just go around our little wheel and do that same thing so we don't get lost in the lines here. So there we have that. Now we're going to take these same orbs, but we're going to draw from the outside downward toward the center. From the outside of that orb is what I'm referring to. Okay. Now from here, we want to focus on these longer lines in the corners. We're going to go from the outer edge of that orb outward to our line, and the same here from this one. I know this can be potentially confusing connecting all these lines together. I'm trying to draw a little more slowly and point out each detail, but feel free to stop and rewind if you need to. From these longer ones that go to the corners, we're going to start again here and curve a line to connect to that central piece, and the same in the reverse direction or mirrored direction over here. So we'll do that to all four sides or corners. Just a very simple curved line that meets that center line. And there we have the basic shape. So now we can begin to do some embellishing and adding some additional lines and details and inking that will make a more interesting design to look at. So I'm going to start by doing that on these corner pieces by creating a little, what I call an eyeball shape. It's actually just a little curved line that connects up underneath that, and then I'm going to ink those in. So I jokingly say that that looks like an eyeball peeking out underneath there, but that's not what we're drawing. No aliens or robots or anything this time, even though I love my science fiction drawings. We'll keep it Zentangle real here, but we're going to do this same idea to all four of these corners, creating that little half moon shape, if you will, or a seed shape, if you want to think of it that way, or a ladybug, some people like to call it. An upside down ladybug in this case, but we're just creating that little area of ink and contrast in all four of these corners. Alright, so now that we have that done, we'll go to the next part of our embellishment process, and we're going to create some aura lines and draw some aura lines that follow these little shapes that we've just inked in. So watch carefully, and I'll zoom in a little to make it maybe a little bit easier on these smaller parts. I'm just drawing an aura of a slightly curved line that will echo all the way down this area. And we'll do the same thing over here on the other side. And it's not important that your lines on this side match the lines on that side. If they do, that's fine, but it's not an important or necessary thing to be concerned about. If it works out that way for you, excellent. But if not, do not worry. We're going to do the same thing in reverse on the top. By reverse, I mean the opposite direction on the top part. We're going to aura that line that's already there, this initial line, and just create a string of these echoing up toward the end, toward the tip there. All right, and we want to repeat that process for the bottom and the top part in all four corners. So it may take us a few moments. I may either fast forward the video or perhaps just edit some of it out for time's sake. But you know what we're doing, so you can do that along with me and then continue with the video if you need to pause it or something while we're zipping through it. But I'll show a few more of these and then we'll zip ahead to the next section. Let's try creating an aura line very close to the outside, or when I say outside, I mean that outer line, of course, and we'll do that on both sides. like that. And now let's see, what could we embed in the center here? Maybe if we do another aura further in, so it's going to be a smaller set, and let's ink that. And then let's connect those corners almost like a beveled effect there. Let's just see how that works. So we're going to aura again here, just that inner piece, which will be smaller. You're just sort of following this line, but doing it way inside there. And then by drawing a nice thin line from those corners, we create a beveled piece that we can shade maybe and create an interesting shape. We'll see how this all looks in the end, but I'm just repeating this now. We're going to draw that inner aura, inking that in, and then drawing those connecting lines to the corners. And now let's move to some shading. First thing that we'll do is add some graphite to the center of these longer shapes that we made all the way down, and also to the outside edge. Just a little bit, and let's do it here too where these lines appear to go up underneath that other part. And I just want to show you what this effect will be. This will help make these shapes, instead of looking like a bunch of flat lines, they'll have the appearance of little cylinders that have some shape. And this is the lower part, or the valley of that shape. And the outer edge is lower because it goes down to wrap around. And of course that center is where we have a highlight, if you will. And it lets that look like it's higher. It comes curved like that. So now what will we do with these little pieces? Let's add a little bit of graphite to each of these little corner lines. And now we're going to blend that in both directions just a little bit onto those boards, I call them, those little edges, those flat pieces that we made. Just kind of like that. I think that'll give us a nice little dimensional effect. So now what else could we do with this? I think I'm going to add a little, since I'm using a gray tile and it allows me to do some highlighting, I think I will do some highlighting, but I'm debating whether I want to put anything in the background or do any kind of a drop shadow. Let's see what things look like once we add the white highlights first. So let's just add a little bit here, a little bit of white to help accentuate that highlight. It'll give a little boost to our dimensional effects. And let's do one other thing. I'm going to take a white gel pen and I'm going to add a little white gel ink to these dots. Just help them to pop out these little orbs that we created. I think I will add a little bit of a drop shadow. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of graphite around the edge. Now I'm not going to lay it very heavy or dark. I just want a subtle hint of shadow around the outside of this design to lift it off the page a little bit. Well, there we are, the end of our drawing for today. I'm so grateful that you took the time to watch, and I really hope you also were able to draw along with me and create a drawing of your own. If you did and you would like to join the Discord server that recently launched, I would love to see the drawings you did. You can just post them on there and we can share and encourage each other in that community. But thank you so much for joining with me. I appreciate it more than words can say. And I look forward to seeing everyone back again real soon here in the Tangles and Tunes channel. Take care. Bye-bye now.